hand it over to the woman of the hour, Karen Masters, and she'll do a short presentation. If you have questions, just start writing them in the chat box during the presentation, and we can definitely save a lot of time at the end of her presentation to answer your questions and have a conversation about those details.
Well, thank you, Laura. Thank you, Pierre. But mostly, thank you all for making the time to meet with me. And especially, thank you all for your patience through this, pandemic. I know that you guys, I think all of you got your programs postponed. But I'm going to make sure, I'm going to do everything in my power anyways, to make sure that you guys feel like it was worth the wait, okay? I know it's been a little bit challenging, but we have something really special that we've been developing for you. So I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to show you what you have to look forward to. All right, can you see the screen? Can everybody just nod their head if they can see it? All right, thank you. I'm gonna make this a little bit small. I won't be able to see you while I give this presentation, but Laura and Pierre are watching for comments, and so feel free to interrupt if you feel the need. So again, welcome everybody. I'm gonna talk to you about the Global Navigator High School Study Abroad program with a destination of Costa Rica. This is a tiny tropical country in Central America, but it holds so much biodiversity and so many opportunities for great lessons about the environment, about sustainability, about biodiversity, and it can really empower you as young people to be activists and to be professionals, eventual professionals in STEM, if that's what your interest is. So let's go on to the next slide. So we've gone through this process. I think that you've all changed your name so that we know which program you're in and which session you're in. And so as we go through the conversation tonight, be looking, scanning for students who are going to be in your program at your session time, okay? So once again, welcome, bienvenidos. This is the first word I think you're going to hear when you step off the plane in Costa Rica. You're going to hear so many welcoming words. So many people are going to be so happy to see you. You know, Costa Rica is one of the friendliest countries on earth. The people are so warm that you're just going to feel right at home right away. I'm sure of it. And then you're going to have a home away from home in the mountaintops of the Tileran mountain range, exactly where that rainbow is. You're going to the place where I'm pretty sure rainbows are actually born. They're so abundant here. And these rainbows bring you all sorts of pots of gold in the form of biodiversity. It's an amazing location. The surroundings are the Monteverde cloud forests, and they just harbor, you know, not infinite, but large numbers of species that are just quite beautiful and remarkable, and you're going to get a chance to learn about them. And it's not only the cloud forest that's up here. You go down just a little bit on either side of the Continental Divide. We're perched at the very top of the mountains on the Continental Divide. But as you go down on either side, either the Atlantic or the Pacific slope, you start coming across other kinds of ecosystems and different kinds of biodiversity, different kinds of plants and animals and fungi. And I'm really lucky because I've called this place my home for 30 years. And I'm still learning about new corners and new places to explore. And I'm super happy to be able to share them with you. So I was asked to give you some top reasons to go to Monteverde, Costa Rica, and I could fill your night with reasons to visit, but I'm just gonna stick with the 8 principal reasons. Everybody knows that the first reason to go to Monteverde is, of course, sloths, obviously. But then the second reason would be baby sloths, because we have both here. And then there's lots of other cool biodiversity in the form of orchids and frogs and kinkajous and olingos and these wonderful organisms that come out in the day and at night that you'll get a chance to know and see. And it's possible by virtue of the fact that we have this amazing, magical, misty cloud forest that's protected all around us by lots of amazing initiatives, including by young people around the world. And I'm going to come back to that in a minute. But just wonderful examples of environmental and climate activism of all ages. It's truly an environmentally progressive country, but Monteverde in particular, where you'll be living, your home away from home, is truly environmentally progressive. It's in the vanguard of environmental protection for Costa Rica, which means that it's in the vanguard for really the world, because Costa Rica is heralded as one of these outstanding examples of protectionism. In addition to having a lot of environmentally progressive ideas and policies and initiatives, Costa Rica is known as a place of peace. We don't have a standing army. All those funds that could go into the military instead are redirected into social programs. And it's the country of pura vida, which is to say, it's a place where people like to find tranquility and tolerance. And so you can look forward to that. As I mentioned before, the people here are really nice and welcoming, especially, I think that during this time of a lot of divisiveness in the world, what's really nice about Costa Rica is that people try to be welcoming and tolerant of diverse opinions and ways of life. And I think you're gonna benefit from that. And you'll make good friends as a consequence in the program and among staff and among people that you meet. So there's lots to look forward to. In June and July, we have so much in store for you. And so on your a study abroad trip for this summer, you can look forward to visiting a tiny town in a tiny country in Central America. And the town is called Monteverde, and we are located in the adjacent valley of San Luis. San Luis's photograph is shown here. It's encircled by these beautiful mountainous slopes, which are flanked by tropical rainforests, specifically cloud forests, where they're bathed by mists and clouds for most of the year, sometimes rain. You'll come during rainy season, so I'll tell you more as we get closer about how to prepare for that. Oh, look, here's a bird's eye view, or should I say a toucan's view, since we have toucans here. This is a toucan's view of the CIE Global Institute, your home away from home for 3 weeks while you live and study and have adventures in Costa Rica. Would you take a look at that? Isn't that remarkable? This is our campus, and you will be living in this amazing matrix of forest and farm and gardens and facilities. So I'm going to walk you through this kind of otherworldly campus. Sometimes I pinch myself. I can't really believe that this is where I work. And I'm so glad that you're going to get a chance to live here. All right, so I'm taking you through the main building. This is the first building that you'll get to know when you're a student, and tonight as well. So this is the Student Union. It has the dining hall where you will have 3 meals a day with your friends and members of the program, including the staff as well. The Student Union also has a reception area, which is featured here in this beautiful porch, this corridor, the balcony, where there's a nice sitting area. Also, it has a library where you can study And unfortunately, this particular photograph doesn't show the instruments, but we have a piano and other instruments. So if you're a musician, you can come prepared to practice. Although we don't have a violin, we do have ukuleles, we have guitars, we have a piano. But if you're a violinist, bring your violin with you. If you're a flautist, bring your flute. All of this is in this beautiful building called the Student Union, which you can see is the building with the double rainbow arcing over it. It's really quite a lovely place. You will reside in the bungalows and the cabinas. These are our residence halls. The bungalows are built for 4 students per room, and then there's collections of 4 rooms per bungalow. So if we look at the photograph on the left, this is a bungalow. It's a collection of 4 rooms. In each one of the rooms, 4 students can reside. You sleep in bunks and you have your own private bath in the room. Additionally, there's desks and lamps, and it's very cozy for studies. And then we provide all of the bedding, and we even have weekly housekeeping. And so you should make your bed. I hope that you'll make your bed, and I hope you'll keep things kind of tidy. But someone will come in and sweep out the crumbs and that sort of thing. And the bungalows are located on Central Campus. The cabinas are not featured in this particular photograph, but they're just a little bit lower to the right, nestled in the forest. They're about a 10-minute walk from campus. So you'll be housed in either the bungalows or the cabinas. And regardless of where you're housed, you'll be with other high school students in your high school program and chaperones, never far from people. We have a lot of different recreational spaces because we really do emphasize recreation. And that comes in lots of different flavors. It comes in the flavor of sports. So we have a soccer field, we have a basketball hoop, and we have a volleyball court. But we also have lots and lots of other kinds of recreation. We do yoga and different kinds of dance classes like salsa and merengue, but also different kinds of line dance and Zumba, if you like Zumba. And when you're sort of tired of and sick of all of the physical activity, you can just sort of veg out in front of the big screen TVs and have a movie night and make s'mores in the fireplace. But maybe the best, really the best recreational areas are the ones that you find outside in the form of forests and botanical garden and lots of trails that take you through this magical forest that has different kinds of animals to surprise you, like hummingbirds and butterflies and monkeys and toucanettes and toucans and fig trees to climb and vistas to see and rivers to rush by you. You'll really, I think, have your senses awakened after a cold winter in the United States. We also offer classrooms, labs, and research collections, and because your programs have an academic component, undoubtedly some of your work and your studies and your activities will indeed take place inside classrooms. Some of them look like this cute, cozy little classroom up on the left. That's an indoor classroom. It's outfitted with Wi-Fi. Well, we have Wi-Fi all over Central Campus. Large screen TVs, really nice facilities for study, but also they could be the outdoor classroom, or maybe you'll do your work inside a wet lab or the herbarium. That's a plant collection laboratory. That's really cool. We also have insect collections, and they include butterfly collections and beetle collections and orchid bee collections, you name it, we got it. It's really just an amazing array of resources for a student who wants to be immersed in science and really in STEM in general. So another highlight of the campus is that we have a working, organic farm, and it includes an animal farm and vegetable farms and coffee plantation. Isn't that amazing? We have pigs and chickens and dairy cattle, including this cutie pie on the bottom left. That's Bebe. Bebe was born 9 weeks ago on Saturday, and Bebe is a little torito. He's a male. He's a little bull, and we just got a new baby bull 3 weeks ago, and his name is Scooby. And you find Bebe and Scooby. Oh, I should have included a photograph because I took a really cute pic of them today together. They were ultra cute in the stables. And anyways, we have all of these wonderful animals, and we'll ask you for help to do chores. Not required, but heavily encouraged. And we have biodigesters to help the farm stay uber sustainable. And we feed the pigs our food scraps, and we collect guavas, and we collect other and bananas and plantains from the farm, and we feed them so that everything is in a closed loop. And I'll tell you more about that. The loop terminates in the dining hall with the biogas that's produced in this biodigester. That's how we cook your food. And then after you eat and you have scraps left, we collect them and we take them back out. And so anyways, you'll get more details about it, but it's very cool and exciting and super sustainable. We have a tree nursery. So native trees are being raised right now in our tree nursery. And I hope that when you're here during the summer months, that's planting season. And so maybe we'll get you out to help us with our reforestation projects, because we like to have everybody have an experience of planting a native tree on a neighboring farm. I wish I could tell you more about it, but I'm going to just say one tiny thing, which goes a little bit off script, but you should know that this year during the pandemic, we distributed 2,000 native trees to 25 different farms and organizations around this region, 32 different recipients. I could tell you, I could talk about this all night, but it's such a source of pride, and I hope that you'll help me with it. Anyways, we have coffee. We're going to start picking our coffee very soon. Once we pick it, we dry it in our coffee dryer, and then we have to roast it. Maybe if you're coffee drinkers, you'll drink it. If your parents don't want you to drink coffee, I won't tell them. So what can you look forward to in a summer abroad program? Well, a typical week will include, you're going to have 3 weeks of this. A typical week is going to include 20 hours of your core global discovery course. So whether that is women in STEM or whether that's climate mitigation, you'll be heavily immersed in that core course, and it's designed and developed to be super cool. I work on it. I work really hard to make it a great program. You'll also get 6 to 10 hours of Spanish language study. It's basic Spanish, no reason to feel intimidated by it. If you already speak Spanish, we'll probably pull you in to be a Spanish tutor. You have daily cultural activities and excursions on and off campus, lots of reflection and discussion time. And so the days are absolutely packed. And essentially we put you to bed at 10:30 and you'll be tired, and believe me, you'll turn out the lights at 10 because you'll be
Did we lose Karen? Looks like we did.
Yeah.
And I don't have access to the slides to move on to the next one, but I can look it up. Hold on, bear with us for a second.
I can, yeah. Anyone have any questions so far? Want to just pause while we try to get Karen back on? Any questions so far about the campus, the program, the schedule, packing?
Yeah, I have a question. How will this be affected by the pandemic at all? Like, are there any changes that are?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're all affected by the pandemic, right? In every way of our lives. So we have found ways to modify our programs. Actually, we're running programs right now in Costa Rica on this campus. We don't know how things will look exactly next June or July, right? Because everything is just changing every week and every day and every month. So we're very hopeful that, you know, with the vaccine and with other mitigation strategies, you know, COVID-19 cases will be less severe and we'll be able to run a more normal type program. However, we're ready, and currently we're running modified programs in Costa Rica where students have to get tested for COVID before they travel. That's a CIE rule. It used to be a Costa Rican government rule, but they just actually changed it. So it's no longer a rule to get into the country. But anyway, CIE would like you to get tested before you travel. And then you travel with a negative test. And then upon arrival, students right now who are on our program, high school kids, are staying on the campus, and it's a remote campus, and it's also isolated. So no one comes in and out. So you're pretty safe there, and students wear their masks for the first 5 to 7 days. And then we do a second round of testing for students to make sure everyone is clear after traveling through the airports and that kind of thing. And then because it's a safe bubble, students are able to take their masks off and really live like a family and be together as if, you know, kind of normal. But if anyone comes onto campus, like Karen, for example, is not in the bubble, she works in her office, which is slightly outside of campus, then you just put your masks on, and when you interact with her, you talk and that kind of thing. But for the most part, you get to kind of live your life as if how we did back in 2019.
I will say that it may be one of our safest bet for next summer, though, this program, because of the nature of the campus and the fact that it's like an environment that we can control fully if we need to. So hopefully our hope is that it will be a program that's as open as possible. But you know, we know that we have that possibility, and we have the reassurance that we know how to run a program in isolation on that campus. In fact, as I see, Zachary, that you're attending the climate change program. This is in part why we kind of like organized that program that was supposed to be more of a traveling program to show you guys different ecosystems. And we kind of reshifted that program to turn it into more of a climate change mitigation program so that it can be more of a sedentary program based on that campus, where you will still get to visit different ecosystems, but like in day trips, and always get back to camp, where you'll be able to do experiences in labs, just to be able to give us the option, like, should we be more careful, we'll be able to really keep the integrity of the learning happening on the program without completely changing your program at the last minute. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, great question, though, Zachary. Someone else asked about mosquitoes. Yes, I know that there are quite a few mosquitoes in Monteverde. I know I've listened to Karen present in the past, and I know she encourages people to bring mosquito repellent, but they have plenty there. And then also to bring light clothes, like quick dry clothes, not heavy jeans or heavy cotton sweatshirts and things like that, because it can be rainy there, and you want things to dry quickly, but also, you know, be able to have long pants on if you want to protect yourself from mosquitoes. And Karen's back. We were just, thanks, Karen. I'm glad you're back. We were just answering some questions about COVID-19 mitigation strategies, and then someone asked a question about mosquito prevalence.
Oops, those are really great questions. About mosquitoes, you know what? We are super uber blessed by the fact that we are at a high enough elevation that we don't have a huge problem with mosquitoes. We have some mosquitoes and some biting flies, but it's not like the lowlands at all, nothing like that. And so as a consequence, you should bring mosquito repellent, but you don't have to sleep under a mosquito net. And there's no fear in Monteverde of mosquito-borne diseases. How amazingly lucky is that? I mean, it's pretty much perfect. All right, so I'm going to show you my screen again. Tell me when you can see it. And
Yes, we can. Yep.
does this one look familiar?
No,
No, I think you're
I
on.
think we were on
Yeah,
14.
slide 14. Yeah. Let's
Like
try
what's
to
in
wrap
this
up
other
in 10
program?
minutes, Karen, if you can.
Sure,
To
absolutely.
switch gears to groups after.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's in a summer abroad program? Well, you're going to have 20 hours of the core course. The core course is either Women in STEM or it's climate change mitigation. Okay, so that's like 4 hours every morning. And then you're going to have a few hours of Spanish language study. And then you're going to have a lot of cultural activities and excursions, reflection and discussion time for the afternoon. What are these activities? Well, they look like these photographs. You can go milking the cows, you can help on the farm, you can plant, you can cook, you can go nature watching. There's all sorts of stuff that we have planned for you. Some of the off-campus excursions include things like going to hanging bridges, coffee picking, harvesting, swimming in the waterfalls, kind of chilly, and maybe going on a Tarzan swing or two. So now I want to briefly talk about the two program options for summer 2021. Climate change mitigation is the program that we've designed especially for you, those individuals who are in the Tropical Biodiversity and Sustainability Program. You're going to see that this program has so many components that the Tropical Biodiversity and Sustainability, that you're going to feel like you got everything plus a little bit of value added in the form of some environmental activism that you're going to get to participate in. In addition, we have Women in STEM, and this program is going to be true to the description that you saw last year, and so no reason to worry about changes. Let me say something about Women in STEM. This is just like the climate change program. This is a 3-week program. This is specially directed at females, at young women. We're looking for all female students, okay? And we have all female mentors and instructors. You'll do STEM studies on the CIE campus, and you'll get to conduct research or carry out a project related to STEM. That is science, technology, engineering, or mathematics. The climate change mitigation is our newest and, kind of the most topical program that we have. It's super topical, I think, because this is the year that the United States is supposedly leaving the Paris Climate Accord, but I can guarantee you in 2021, we're going to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord, and we're going to have a bunch of environmental activists. Most of them are going to be under the age of 18, and they're going to include people like you. You're going to learn about youth climate environmental activism and get to put some of it into practice in projects and research to help Costa Rica to advance a very noble goal. The noble goal is carbon neutrality at the national level. Imagine that, a nation that wants to be carbon neutral, and we're going to help Costa Rica do that. So I think that there's something for everyone, and I hope you agree, but please, I'm here for questions. And so with that, I'm going to end the presentation and leave it wide open now for our breakout groups, and you can ask me whatever questions occur to you, everything from packing lists to core academic components or different kinds of excursions and so on. So please, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but please, the conversation is just about to start.
Great.